Another late night comedy show. Mike Perkins and Paul Brodo. We're the house band with all the show. Tonight. Another late night podcast tonight.
With Mike Perkins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another podcast tonight. Woo, woo.
Yeah.
We are here. We just had our live show. It was amazing. And we're doing a new thing where we do our live show, and our special guest on that live show will also be our special guest on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So with us as always tonight is my partner in crime, Mr. Paul Brodo.
Thank you so much for tuning in, people. It means the world to me.
It's like he's going through therapy. Paul's gone through therapy in the last 3 weeks. And they're like, these are your given answers. You need to say these answers to all of the questions.
And the best band in all the land. It's the show with Adam and Sean, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody. This is the sweet sound of Sean's voice.
And is Genevieve.
And Genevieve is Adam.
And as Adam here.
And my name is Mike Perkins. Thanks so much for listening again this week, giving us 5-star ratings, giving us reviews. You guys are the best. And as I said, we have a special guest tonight. Special guest, you know him, you love him. If you don't know him, you're going to love him. Guys, it's one of our best buddies, Loft Ensemble member. He's all around town. He's an amazing comedian. Guys, give it up for Noah Copfer, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Sean,
Yes.
your mic sounds so crisp, and I fucking love it.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah, it
it.
does, right? He just sounds better. It just does.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
Small upgrade.
Let me upgrade you. Well, Noah,
was
thanks
kind
for
of
doing...
No-brainer
Thanks
for
for
us to have Noah. It was a no-brainer for us. We
Yeah.
said, who's our next guest? We all went, it's Noah.
It's Noah, baby.
I love all you guys so much. Mike, when you texted me, you're like, "Hey, you want to do the show?" I was like, "Come on, what?" It genuinely, not even as a joke. It's like it's one of those things where it's like, dude, I could be doing anything and I'll cancel it to do this, like straight up. Like
Last week he said the same thing, or when we were doing this, he goes, "Do you think he'll do the show?" I was like, "He'll do the show. I'm already confirming him.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
He's gonna confirm.
We don't
He's
even need to
confirmed.
talk to him. Yeah.
He's confirmed."
just tell me on the day. It's like you're on the show tonight. I'll be like, I know.
Especially right now, it's like, oh, do you have anything going on? Probably not. Okay, you're gonna be on the show.
Yeah.
Well, you text me back. You said that Carnegie Hall was opening back up, and you were going to headline there, and then you're
Oh,
like,
jeez.
I just canceled it, so I'm doing your show.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll find a different date. Comedians do it all the time.
yeah. Which is awesome. You were actually, when we moved over to Loft Ensemble, we had to have you as our very first guest on our live show about a year and a half ago, back in October of that. And now you did this show. You fucking crushed it as usual.
Thank you.
And I love the new stuff that you got going on. And thanks for doing the podcast, man. So,
Dude, of course. I'm stoked to be here.
I've been doing a lot of questions this week, in general. So I had doing a lot of assignments for people this week and asking a lot of weird questions to people, and people asking weird questions back. And since we do that a lot in this, I had a lot of pent up energy, and I was curious because of Paul, Paul. I think about you a lot, Paul. And
Wow. Okay.
I do.
Flattered.
I do. I know I do. I think about you a lot. And I wanted to know, what is sexy to everybody? This was the biggest question that came up. And I know it sounds really chauvinistic and a change of subject, but it came up and I was like, I gotta ask you guys this question. First thing that comes to mind, what's sexy? And the first person I thought of was Paul Brodo.
Well, that's a loaded question, Adam.
your wife's like, is Paul the first one you think of when you think of sexy?
I think of Paul Brodo.
I think it's everybody in this room, and then
But genuinely, if you're first thing comes to mind, you're like sexy. First thing I think of sexy is boom.
So go ahead, Paul.
Confident MILF.
Yeah, motherfucker.
How's it going? What's up?
He fucking nailed. He hit. I was waiting for this answer since Tuesday, but last week. I've been waiting on this answer since Tuesday of last week, and he hit a grand slam.
It was like no
There it goes.
hesitation. Like,
There
oh,
were
you
so
want
many answers in the world, and I was like, "What's he gonna say? It's gonna hit me with something."
I know what I like. That's all I'm
I
gonna
love
say.
you so much.
You hear that,
Tremendous.
confident milfs? You hear that?
You hear that?
Confident MILFs. Love it.
You heard it.
You'll
You
hear
heard
from
it.
them because they're confident.
Yeah, they're
They're gonna say
coming.
something to you.
Someone's
Alright.
just gonna
Hit me up.
grab your balls, Paul. It's coming.
In the middle of the night. Like what?
Middle, but she's gonna be a MILF and she's gonna be confident as fuck.
She's
She's
gonna
gonna be dressed
confident as
up.
fuck.
She's gonna have her after work suit on.
Yeah,
She's
you're,
gonna be in a suit.
you're gonna be like, "Oh, my balls," and she's gonna go, "No, my balls."
My
Oh, shit. You're right.
and you're
that's
like,
You're right,
"Yes,
they
ma'am.
are.
Yes, ma'am.
You're right.
You're right.
Can I get you anything else this evening?"
Can I get you anything else?
I'll just leave the check here. You know what? It's on the house.
Fuck.
Oh, it is definitely on the house.
Well, that opened up pretty quickly.
That's
Sean
fucking
Dury.
awesome.
Sean Dury.
Oh, fucking A, man. That's
First thing comes to mind. Boom. What is it?
uh, fucking stomachs. I don't know why.
Mike
Brit-
Perkins.
Since
Yeah, Britney Spears stomach.
Ever since
Britney
Britney
Spears.
Spears, it hit me at the right
He
time.
said Burr, and I was like, Britney? Like, how is it Britney Spears?
100%. I was like, I saw "Hit
Bruh.
Me Baby One More Time's music video, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm about.
That
You're
was
like,
a
yeah,
game
we can
changer.
wrap this up. I know what I like.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's about.
that was a game changer. That was that video
Oh my
when it
God.
came out.
Perkins? What is it?
I love when a chick has an attitude. I love it.
Sassy.
Of course, because
Sassy.
you're so nice.
It's so, well, like that. But like, I love when like I love that East Coast attitude. You know what I mean? Like if a girl
Mhm.
breaks my balls or just like goes back and forth with me, and I'm just like, I fucking love it. You know what I mean?
Get it to me, girl.
It's just, yeah, I just like fucking like, I love fighting with my girlfriends. I love it, dude. Like, it helps me work my improv. It just it's just like, you know, it's just like, I love that back and forth. Like, kind of like, I don't know, like Marissa Tomei is like,
Boom.
that's
In it.
it right
that's
there.
East Coast Italian, right here.
Oh,
like you couldn't have
Jesus.
like said that. I would have written a casting notice with that answer
Yeah.
you just gave me.
I
Like-
want her to walk in a room and high heel clip me in the nutsack. And just
I want her to
Comes in like,
spit in my
Mike
eye as soon as I
Perkins,
look at
more
her.
like Mike doesn't know his face from his ass. And Mike's like, I think I'm in love.
He's like,
guys,
I've never been harder in my life.
I gotta go see about a girl.
move
It's
across
fucking good.
country. This broad's got me.
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
funny.
This broad's got me.
Yeah, she looks at you.
Noah-
What the fuck are you looking at? And you're like, I already have the U-Haul. I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
like,
I'm in where you're at.
we're ready
Yeah.
to go.
no,
What am I
is
looking
it-
at? What am
is
I
it-
looking
is
at?
it
Marriage.
East-
That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at marriage, sweetheart. What am I
Noah,
looking at?
is it Easter or something for you, Noah? What is it?
Easter? What the fuck? Why would it be Easter, bro? It's obviously handwritten letters, okay? No, you want my genuine answer?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Tattoos.
Mm.
Wow.
Dude,
Okay.
can't
Your
get
lady
enough
has
of 'em.
tattoos. Your lady has tattoos too.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know what it is. Tattoos. I love them.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that the
good.
first thing that caught your eye with your girl now?
No, she's incredible, and also is probably hating that I'm talking about her without. But no. On
It doesn't have
like
like purple or blue or yellow hair and shit like that too. Like
I don't know. Sense of humor is always like, to me, that's really, and I think like with my girlfriend now, that was like the sense of humor. Like that's, you know, that's my fave.
Yeah.
But definitely handwritten letters and
candles.
I
You
like
candles.
pressed flowers. Oh, candles.
You're like,
Yeah.
Noah does like candles.
Oh, dude, I
have you made
through
your
'em.
own candle before?
no. No,
Okay, so-
I don't have a lot of skills, so I just buy them.
So my wife, this is speaking of candles. My wife used to make cards, and we would go to like these shows and these like trade shows, and she would like make a booth, and I would have to like make the booth look like I'd have to build the booth and shit, and then be there at the booth, and we would be there for like a weekend or whatever. And there was always fucking candle people that made candles and shit, and people that had their own candles. There was one chick that was across the way from us one time for like a weekend, and she had these candles that were made of like beer bottle, lower half of beer bottles and lower half of wine bottles, right?
Mhm.
And they were cool, like whatever, right? They were fucking candle. And I I remember talking to her at length, and I was like, "This is really cool. Like, like, what is this?" And she goes, "Oh, you want nothing to do with this business." And I was like, you could see the dread in her eyes that she got into this business, because she's like, the mess that comes with making candles. She is like, my entire garage is for candles, and it's only for candle making. And I will owe a lot of money if I ever want to change it to anything other than a wax museum. Like, she is like she's like, it is
it's like a curse she carries with her.
No, for real. She was like, you could tell that she was,
stay away the wax.
She was like, the amount of broken glass wax is all over my home, my car, my everything. There is
beware the eyes.
I was like, and you saw this in her face, and I was like, okay, fair enough. This is not a home business. This is not a home business.
Dude, I honestly, Adam, I could see you, because you're the type of dude, and I've listen, I guess compared to everybody else, I've known you a while now. Yeah. You are definitely the type of person, and I know this because it came up with Christmas lights this year, where once you get hooked on something, you are out of your mind obsessed with it for however long that is. But when you're like, this is a new thing I'm doing, it's not like, yeah, I'm kind of playing around with this. It's like, dude, I haven't not thought about this since I started doing it.
Correct. 100%.
So with candles, I think that would be your garage would completely change.
That's exactly why I asked her. I was like, that's kind of a sexy thing. I started a little candle business going up. And I was like, what's the deal? And she was like, it's awful. You want nothing to do with it. Run and hide. I promise.
So funny. That is so like, don't do it. It'll start as a hobby and it will destroy you.
And it will destroy you.
I love that.
Remember
I love that whole attitude too.
Like,
she tries to sell candles too. Someone's like, what does this smell like? She's like, I can't fucking smell. I've been doing this for 12 years. Yeah. Buy it. I don't know.
Don't ever ask me about lavender again.
and then Mike is like, what's up? I love this. This aggression you got going on.
Fucking attitude right here. Huh?
Reel it in over here.
Talk about lighting a candle. Am I right?
Am I right?
It will destroy you.
What were you going to say, Sean?
Well, so this is a very LA moment. So things happen in Los Angeles because it's similar to any big city where there's lots of people in a place.
Speaking of destroying you, basically.
Yeah. Things can happen to you. Things can destroy you. And Adam was outside of a theater. That doesn't really matter, but he's on like a road alone. He's walking to his car late at night. And this story he told me, and I'll let him finish it out, but he goes to his car and he's just walking to his car. You got a LA nighttime. There's like one street lamp. It's not
by Dodger
like
Stadium,
the main,
down off a weird road.
You're kind of near a park. It's very dark. And like the one street lamp is kind of the only kind of lamps around. And this guy stumbles out to him and it yells to him. It's like, hey. And then this is the kind of story.
This dude just leathered up, but had a leather jacket, came wandering up where it's just the middle of the night. He had a leather jacket and he goes, don't let a woman get your heart, or she will destroy you. And he walked away. And I swear to God, he like hit a spotlight and he found his light. And it was just this very strange moment where I was like, what is happening? Probably 2:30 in the morning.
The fucking
there
Davy
is
Jones?
not a person within 400 yards of either of us in any direction.
And so you really can feel it. Since we're like, for our listening audience, like he reaches out and like makes a fist.
He made a fist.
Like he's cursing the sky.
Yeah, it was insane.
Destroy. He's like, she will destroy you.
And it shook me to my core because I was like, holy shit, look at that guy.
This happened like 17 years ago.
Yeah. And this dude wandered off. You know, I'd only been in LA for a few years and I was like, he just cursed me or something. He's so weird. Like he has been wandering heartbroken.
There's a presence with me now.
He's been wandering heartbroken for far too long.
Middle of the night.
Far too long.
Dude, and you know he's been talking to himself. He's had all that. And when he saw you, he's like, if I could give this guy one piece of information.
Advice.
One bit.
Here you go.
He didn't ask for help. He just
because he didn't come from a car and he wasn't going to a car. I don't know what his deal was. He was a a man of the night,
A messiah of the night. Like,
with his version of sage wisdom.
yeah, it was something else, man.
Have you guys
Wow.
had a very kind of LA or city moment since you've lived out west where you see something like, for instance, like one that lots of people have one similar to this, but I was on my motorcycle and I came to a stop at Hollywood Boulevard and I looked to my right and there was a girl who's kind of homeless and was in like a trench coat. And I looked over and right when she looked at me, she just opened her trench coat and she was butt naked and she's like, "Ah!" And I just started laughing and drove away.
Yeah,
Because
those are the
stuff
best
happens
ones.
in LA.
Sean, I have one with you. I don't know if you remember this. I was going to a basketball game, taking the Metro with Sean and Cameron. And dude, I told this story recently. So we got on the Metro. We were going from the North Hollywood station to because it's like getting downtown is crazy. Except you get on the Metro and then it's easy. It's like a couple bucks. So we get on there. We're sitting near the doors, and then the doors open at a stop, and a guy in a wheelchair wearing like 9 jackets rolls in, and he's got a bag in his lap. And he did. I remember this like it was yesterday.
Oh, fuck.
He makes no eye contact with anybody. He wheels. You know how there's like the center bars.
Oh yeah.
And Sean, if at any point of this I mess up something, let me know. But one of those center bars that you hold onto right in front of the doors, he wheels so his back is against it because he's in a wheelchair. So he like I guess like for the support, so he doesn't move when the thing moves. And he's just sitting there like hunched over, looking down. And then we're just talking about whatever. I can't remember what we're talking about. And slowly he reaches into the bag and it's peanut shells, like the already cracked open, like peanut, like when you eat peanuts. And he takes a handful and he throws it on the ground in front of him.
Jesus Christ.
And he does this. I'm not even kidding you. Like the first handful, we were kind of like, okay, but each handful gets funnier and funnier because it's more and more. Like you would think he would run out, but each handful seems to be bigger than the last one. And he's doing it with spite. He's like, "Ugh." But he's not making noise. He's not moving. He's just scooping out. And it never ends the amount. He's just scooping these shells out. And then they're all on the ground in front of, and at this point we're holding it in. And so they're all in front of him in front of the door. And then he sits there in silence. The rest of his body doesn't move. It's just him throwing these down. And then we get to a stop and the door's open and people walk in. And then there's like the crunch of like them walking on it. And he's just he sits there and he's just kind of like
barbecue restaurant.
Yeah. And they're all over the floor.
Sports pub or something.
There's like
Throw
an
your peanut
obscene
shells on
amount
the
of
ground.
peanut shells, like an obscene amount.
It's crazy.
And they're walking in the crunch, and he's kind of like
I did.
nodding his head. He's like, "Hmm." And to this day, that man stuck with me forever.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That was
Perkins.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you got it.
Do you have a person that
17
something or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that?
people
Sean?
of the city.
17 years before he was throwing peanuts, he gave Adam some advice at a
Same dude. He's like,
Right.
these are the pieces of my heart.
And
Stop
he
upon
listens
them,
to
people of Los
crush
Angeles.
them every day.
This dude's been on this like one man show around Los Angeles for like 22 years.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Oh fuck! This wandering one man show is so funny.
Oh,
to me.
jeez.
Fuck.
this city is my stage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very avant-garde piece.
Anything
Oh,
come to
man.
mind for Perkins, Brodo?
Yeah, Perkins, Brodo, you
I
got any? It could be East Coast too, because it's like if for anybody listening in a small town, like
It's the city
sometimes
people.
Weird stuff just happens in the city because you have so many people.
Yeah.
Sometimes
The-
people are fucking crazy, like, and they just do some crazy shit.
Yeah. It reminds me of a story. This was years ago. This was like 2006, maybe. I was doing improv classes for Second City up in New York. And we used to have to, like, we took the train. It was the same thing. We took the train up there and we had to get there early and kind of had to walk like 20 blocks to get to our stage and stuff, or the class. And we got there like early one time. We had to go to the bathroom in this McDonald's, right?
Nice.
And to use the bathroom, because there was like no bathroom like before the class like opened and stuff, so we had to find this place to use the bathroom, and we had to buy something to use the bathroom at McDonald's because they wouldn't just give you the code. Like, you have to buy something.
The token.
The token, like you have to buy something in the city, you know.
Exactly.
So I bought a hash brown, and it was me and my buddy Mike, and we would go up there. It was like a 2-week thing. We went up there every single day. We had to get up at like 6 a.m. and like take the train up to New York and stuff. And the class started at 10. So we go to McDonald's, and I just buy a hash brown so we get the code or the key for the bathroom. So my buddy Mike goes in there first. And I'm sitting there with this hash brown, and this homeless man walks in, and everybody starts looking at him, and it's like he's been there before, you know. And he just walks in, and he just like mumbling stuff to himself, and he's like, and he looks at me, and he's like, "What you got in there?" And I was like, "It's a hash brown." And he's like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, you can have it if you want." He's like, and he just like gave me a look, and then he like snatched it real quick. And he was like, "Thank you, man." And he went and he sat down, and he had the bag with the hash brown in it. And I'm just sitting there like a table away from him. My buddy Mike is in the bathroom the whole time, you know, and I'm just like there with like this weird homeless guy. So the homeless guy takes the hash brown out of the bag, right? And he starts rocking back and forth with the hash brown in hand. And then he raises the hash brown in the air, and he just like, bah, 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 and starts screaming at the top of his lungs. So I'm like, what the fuck? So at this point, like all the people that know him, I guess he comes here a lot or whatever. Like the employees come over, like, "Sir, you have to leave, blah blah." He's just like, bah, with this hash brown. So they kick him all out, and I'm just sitting there still, whatever. My buddy Mike comes out of the bathroom, and the button of the whole thing is like, "What the fuck was going on out here?"
He missed the whole thing.
He missed, and I was like, "Nothing, man. This guy went and had." I'm gonna go.
He
to
blessed
bed.
the hash brown like it started to float. He's like,
Yeah.
ah.
What the fuck? I'll never forget that story because it was so like weird and like so like it was just nuts, dude. I was like, what the fuck? And yeah, so
That's
that
great.
was my weird story of a random man that
Love the
changed
city.
my life.
City person.
The city,
Paul?
the city life.
Any city person?
Which one do we want? Do we want LA or do we want East Coast? Because I got one for
LA.
both.
I want LA.
Yeah.
All right, LA was.
We need to reconnect to the one man show.
LA was it. There was this man when I was doing Uber. When I first moved out here, I started doing Uber, and one of my first rides was this man who was probably in his mid to late 80s, and all I remember is that his like neck was like chicken skin.
You God, I'll fucking.
And
throw
so he gets in the car. He's dressed in kind of like this weird fucking suit. It looked like one of the suits like they wore in fucking Dumb and Dumber. You know, like you're like,
that's ridiculous.
Something's not right here. And on his arm was this most beautiful Armenian woman I've ever seen in my life. I was like, there's something going on here between these two. And he gets in the car, she gets in the car, and I have like where I need to go. I'm like, all right, I got it. And he's like, you drive us. No questions asked. I tip big. I go, you got it, sir. Why not? So I'm driving and I'm going. And at some point, I kind of realized that this girl is giving him a handy in the back seat.
Holy shit.
Now, you
Just
know, on
holding
one
that
hand,
turkey snood. Just
yeah, I mean, one hand, maybe I should be like, hey, don't do it. But he's like, I'm going to pay you money. And I just kind of wanted to see how much he would have given me. And then,
You're a working man.
you know, I'm like, fuck it, you know, do what you got to do. Just don't fucking like finish on my seats, you know, like do it on your like fucking your stomach or whatever. So she's going, and what starts off as a hand job turns into a blow job.
Wow.
Wow.
As it should.
And me, I'm like, Paul, just focus on the road. And then, you know, I'm a responsible driver. I have to look in the rear view mirror. I look up to the rear view mirror, and this man is just staring at me right in the fucking eyes.
No.
Yeah.
And like,
I'm
you
like-
two have solid eye contact while he's getting a BJ.
So
in
he
the
was
back
he was
seat.
already looking at you then.
He was. I look up and
He's like,
I'm
I
a
wanted to
little
fucking
like,
know.
there was like a moment.
This is
like,
how I will come, is if when you look at me.
Yeah, that's why they're in the Uber right now.
This is why we're in the Uber.
it
It's
gets
so
a
that-
little better.
Oh my God.
So I look at him up there and he looks at me and there's like this like moment where we're like connected oddly. And I'm like, and he just says, "You like?"
Shut
And I
the
go,
fuck up.
What did you say?
I look at him and I go, "You do you, man. You do you." Turn the corner, drop him off. Dude gave me like a fucking $80 tip. And I think about him sometimes. Like, is he still going? They're like, is he still alive? Like, what, how's he rolling with this?
Oh, you were a hooker, man.
Dude,
you were
that's
part of. Like,
Well, do you think the whole night would have changed had you been like, I am way into this?
yeah,
Like,
right.
There's a timeline that would have been in play where Paul is now in like fucking Saudi Arabia, like held captive. There's something that would have happened there. I don't know. Like,
I love the thought of you then
my God.
doing rides after that, and someone being like, "How's your night been?" And you're like, and you have to be like, "Fine." Not an eventful night. There was definitely not an 80-year-old man with his turkey nuts flopped out, his tofurkey testicles right where you've been.
Looking me dead in the eye.
Yeah.
that was
Jesus.
that was a connection I'll never forget.
Wow.
God,
Paul.
that's insane.
Tofurkey testicles.
Tofurkey testicles.
Paul.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, Paul.
That
is
was
a good
the
one.
that was like, you know, that's like the man who was wandering LA's father. That's like that. That's like that
Adam.
was
Oh
unbelievable.
my God.
Adam, Sean, did I ever tell you what happened to me and Jack on Hollywood Boulevard?
No, please do.
After, so I say them because this happened. When I think about LA, I think about this story. It was one of the first nights I'd ever done stand up with you guys. Because for the
Okay.
listeners that don't know, Adam and Sean pretty much, I opened for them when I was starting to do stand up. That's how I like got my start performing at Flappers and doing things like I would open for them.
You can give us 10%. It's cool. We get 10%.
Yeah, for sure.
We started it. We started it.
And hand jobs and stuff, and
Yeah.
all those things. I would do whatever,
I got a driver for you. I got a driver.
Yeah. But it was one night after Claremont, and it was Kieran. It was me, Kieran, Jack, and then you guys. But Kieran
Yeah.
did something else, and so it was just me and Jack Williams, who's a buddy of ours, who's a ventriloquist comedian who's hilarious.
And the four, like of the group of us five, went out there and just did like a whole weekend. in
Yeah, it
Flappers.
was-
It was incredible.
That's
It was
awesome.
amazing.
One of
We
my
did
favorite
an hour,
memories.
and like the three of them opened for us. It was great.
Yeah.
Super
awesome.
fun.
So what we get off. So what we did for those is you would drop us off at what the unions, one of the
I
like
dropped them like
Union
Universal
Station.
City, like city station, like NoHo
Yeah.
station kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
that metro station, and then we would take that to Hollywood because then we were at the school, so we'd walk to the school. And I remember I got on the metro with Jack. Now Jack, because he's a ventriloquist comedian, he has a giant bag that a lot of the time looks like it's a bomb because it's just a giant black bag, and he's kind of I love him to death, funky looking tall dude with wearing a turtleneck, so he looks insane. And I remember we got on the metro. It was like 3 a.m. and it was like early hours in the morning. I turned to Jack and I remember saying on the subway being like, "Hey man, I wonder what Hollywood Boulevard is like at this time of night." And
It's not.
three things happened. It was like the rule of 3 in comedy. So nothing happened while we were on the metro. As soon as we get off, right when we get off, like immediately we step out the doors, there is a couple, a guy and a girl, fighting, but not arguing, fist fighting each other in the metro stop. Like UFC, like uppercuts, hooks, beating the crap out of each other.
Wow.
This is happening. We're watching this. 2 security guards come up. I'll never forget this guy in my life. He's putting a glove. The security guard is putting a glove on. He looks like he's so tired. He puts his glove on. He goes, "Everybody shut the fuck up." And they stopped fighting. And they stopped fighting. And me and Jack were like, we got to get out of here. That was just the first thing that happened. He walked up, he's like, shut the fuck up. And they stopped fighting. And we walked the steps up onto Hollywood Boulevard. Now we're just on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
Where the steps are immediately to my right. As soon as I look, there's a guy unconscious on the floor and there's an ambulance there.
This place is insane.
And he's got his shirt off. He's covered in some like he's covered in fluid or something.
A sauce.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
The
So-
city sauce, just a
City
city,
sauce.
sauce.
So at this point, me and
Fresh
Jack are
out
like,
the D,
fresh
baby.
out the D.
Fresh out the D.
at this point, me and Jack, he looks like if you magnified a sperm, that like it's just like so that happens, and we're just trying to get home. Then we get to the intersection where we have to cross the street to the other side of Hollywood Boulevard, and you know how it's the Jimmy Kimmel thing is right there where they do the tapings. So I guess there must have just been a taping because we're waiting for the crosswalk to go, and on one side of the street is only me and Jack. Like the rest of the street is dead. It's just me and Jack waiting for the crosswalk. On the other side of the street is, I'm not shitting you, 200 people. And they're all facing us. Like, so it's 3 a.m. There's 200 people dressed nice staring at us. And they're staring at me, just a regular dude, and then a guy wearing a black turtleneck with a large bag. So they're like, what are they doing? Why are they the only ones over there? And then we're like, why are there so many of you over there? And then we start to walk, and the crowd gives us like this wide berth, and we're walking through like this is the fucking Matrix. And then we ran home.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. And that's Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, yeah.
I got to say this because Perkins and Brodo are from the East Coast, and Sean and I, we said it just a second ago. We said fresh out the D.
Yes.
We have to
this is
explain
an
this.
East Coast thing from
We have to
Adam and
explain
I's
this.
perspective.
So I had never been to New York, or if really anything. Really, I'd been to like DC, but I hadn't been to New York. I'd been to New York and Sean and I went to New York years ago, and we did a play together. And so I think you had been there before, right?
When I was very young,
Yeah.
and for anybody that hasn't been to New York, it's in the summertime. It gets swelteringly hot and very.
Oh
humid.
yeah.
Now,
The
so
humidity,
we went there.
humidity
We went
is
there.
like insane.
Yeah,
We went there in,
we were
like,
there
August.
in August. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were there for about 3 weeks or something. And I'd never been there before. And I'm and born and raised, and then have lived my whole life in Southern California. So just so we get a perspective of what my general weather temperature has been like, what my
Crazy.
skin has been grown around, basically, right? And so we get to New York, and it's very different, right? And obviously the whole city's very different. We could go on for a very long podcast about my perspectives of the East Coast, but anyway, we're walking, and as you walk in New York, all of a sudden you'll just like there'll be like a drip on you.
Yeah.
Just a drop of water.
Like a water
hit
of
your
drop
head.
hits your head or your
You'll be
elbow
walking
or your
outside
arm,
in the middle
and
of
it's
buildings.
very like it's not raining and it's not humid. It's very
Yup,
humid, but it's not that kind of humid.
Sunny
just
day.
bright sunny day, but the drop will happen on you.
And it will happen to everyone at some point in time if you're there long enough.
And you go like, what the fuck? Like the first time it happens, you're like, what the fuck was that? Right?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And then like, you start to be like, oh God, what? And then you kind of start to realize like most of it, the time, it's like air conditioning units, right? Like most of the time, it's like
That's what I was gonna say.
Dropping off from like 40 stories above.
dropping
you.
off from like way the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, the fuck. And then Sean and I started thinking about the idea of like, but it also could just be some dude jerking off out the window.
Just walking to his balcony and taking a piss.
It's just taking a piss or loading off 24 stories up and just loading out. And nobody bothers to know what it is. So we started being like, just get some of this fresh out the D. And so like, right? So here's the thing. At one point, we would be like, oh, I just got D'd on. That was like our thing. We'd be like, I just got D'd on.
And typically you're outside, so it's so strange because you're just in the open space.
We were in the subway, in the train as it was driving, and we got D'd on.
Yeah.
At that point, both of us went, oh, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, am I going to turn into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Because I don't know.
The ground of New York City.
It hit the back of your neck. You know what I mean? And you were like, oh,
there's no air conditioning units inside a train car.
No.
What the?
What? You just got D'd on. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
was
fresh
that
out the
blood?
D.
I don't know. It was.
That's that-
Oh my
It
God.
was.
That's that like California, New York thing. Like, whoa, bro, you just got D'd on, bro.
Got
A lot of
Dino,
it, yeah,
like
is just like sewage pipes and shit, and
Yeah,
just like
the
there's
fuck?
pipes everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
I mean, back in the day, like if you think of like the 20s and 30s and shit, people would just like dump their fucking bathroom buckets
Yeah,
out the
they-
window.
out the
and
window.
That's what I mean. It could have been anything.
laundry
That's-
things. Yeah.
That was why it was like you were like there were so many things it could have been, especially
Yeah.
from so high up. Like
Yeah.
there's so many things at that point that it could be, and so then we just kept saying D'd on, and then when we got D'd on in the train, it was over for us. That was
Wow.
it. Yeah. So I figured we had to bring it back, but we also had to tell you guys because you guys are from there, so you know. What we're talking
Yeah, from the D. Noah, have you ever been to the East Coast at all?
I have.
Yeah.
I've been to New York a couple times, and like earlier last year, like on tour and stuff, I was in like I was in Maine and like
Okay.
Philly. Philly is one of
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite places on the planet.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
Pennsylvania. I was in Vermont.
That's where me and Paul are from. We're from South Jersey, so like 10 minutes from Philly.
Dude,
So-
that it's so beautiful over there because I'm from Arizona and then now I'm in California, so I'm like I don't have the whole the east same thing. The East Coast is such an insane perspective for me that
Yeah.
when I go there, it's like the most beautiful. I love it there. Like the East Coast is so beautiful.
I wanted to ask you because you talked a little bit about it on the because I mean we've been in the pandemic year of it
Yeah.
all, and I feel like you're one of those comedians that have actually kind of took your game to the next level. And speaking of gaming, you've been doing a Twitch live show, which has been doing really good. I want to talk to you about that. And you mentioned a little bit on our live show, but I want to like how did all that come about and tell us more about
I
it.
like
Yeah.
your dad joke with him taking his game to a new level.
Right?
Hey, I love the puns. We're getting
Yeah.
the
Dude,
Twitch
he's the host.
puns
He's the
in
host with the
early.
most, bro.
Yeah.
He's got that shit locked and loaded. Like some people have to write that stuff. Mike's got that off top. It's
I got
all
nothing. I got nothing. It's blank. It's blank paper, baby. It just says laugh. It just says laugh right here.
Just
That's
says
all it
laugh.
says. Just says
I gotta
laugh.
be honest. Mike. You are the person that if I was like I got a skeleton and I need a joke, it's like I'd be like you'll be like oh I got a couple. You'll send me. You could be the guy that if I'm like I need a dumb joke, a silly dad joke about a washing machine. Like got him. Got a couple.
Got 'em.
Boom. Bang.
Yeah.
Boom. Got you,
There it is.
baby.
I guess
You're the best.
I could tumble out a few. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
could tumble out a few.
My
Oh,
God.
God.
I could really tumble out a few. Or
He's
if you
the
got some
best.
skeletons, if you got some skeletons, I'll put the neck bones connected to the joke bone. You know what I mean? It's,
Oh, God,
See?
yes.
There it is.
Connect the joke.
You
bone.
alley oop, and he's gonna dunk it down. He's gonna dunk it down.
dunk it down, baby. Dunk
Oh,
it down.
my-
Oh,
Mike
now it makes me
Perkins.
want to hear dad jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Noah, tell us about the Twitch Live, man, because I love that. I really want to get into it too, and just it's so interesting. And you've been doing great. I watched a couple of your lives too. So
Oh, thanks, man. No,
That's
it's been super fun. So like streaming on Twitch has been, it's like been relatively new for me. I kind of had a tad bit of it, I think back in like August of this year. But then I've really been hitting it since like November. And, as a kid who like grew up with the internet, and grew up with like, people already like kind of like gamers being a thing. Growing up, I would watch people play video games and I always thought it was fun. I'm not like I've enjoyed playing video games, but I wouldn't consider myself someone who like a gamer or something like that. But, I have friends who stream on Twitch professionally. Like that's their job. They like make a living playing games and people watching them play games and doing all that kind
Wow.
of stuff. And, it was something I thought was cool with live shows, not existing right now. I was kind of looking for something that, another outlet for me to be creative on. And they were like, well, we think this would be something you would be kind of good at. So something, my mic is too crisp. I'm going to address it.
I thought that was Sean for a second. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Christmas of it.
But so yeah, shout out to Tony Noto and Day Hutton for getting me all set up. They gave me I borrowed a PC and like got monitors and stuff, and I just kind of got like set up, just playing games. and just, streaming it so people can watch. And that's all it is. Like I play group games with a bunch of people. And I just have a good time and I goof off. It literally feels like I'm playing board games with my friends. Like I play a lot of group stuff and, we're all just, shooting the shit, doing goofy stuff. And it's been crazy. Like now it's like, it's getting more and more traction and I'm getting a lot of support, which is, I'm so thankful for, but, starting to make some income from it now, which is pretty insane.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Cause they
That
can
is
like,
outrageous.
Yeah.
how does that work? Do they donate to the stream and stuff? That's how they,
Yeah, so
It kinda
pretty much
works.
like, and I have such a limited thing. I've only been streaming for like a couple months, but like pretty much what it is through like OBS, like the open broadcast software, you're running your own network, and Twitch is kind of like where it's your own show, and then Twitch is the network. So people if they want to see certain people, they want to see a certain game, they could type it into Twitch, it'll pop up. There's like recommended lists and all that stuff. And it's all their live stuff, and so people will tune in and watch, and people follow you, and then they can subscribe where they pay like I think it's like $5 a month, and then they don't get ads or things on your channel, and then you can set perks and stuff. Like there's so much you can do with it. It's not just gaming. Like people do podcasts, people do shows. They do them on Twitch. You just use that as your network to like show it to people, and then people can. You set up all these things so people can donate, they're called bits. So they donate bits, which is only like a couple cents, but people donate those. People can just donate straight to like a PayPal.
oh, wow.
And I had all that set up, just the alerts for like follows and stuff, just because I wanted to, people love when you shout them out, and I wanted to shout people out. But now it's at the point where, I've gotten some really cool, support by people who have a lot of followers and stuff. And now like I'm getting more subscribers and things like that. And it's crazy the community you can build. Like, there's so much that goes into it. Like there's a chat that's right there that people can talk to me directly through. It's very much like, it's like live TV, but more interactive, like where I'm reading the chat, people
like
are putting
Instagram
things,
Live or some shit like that.
Yeah. Same thing. But, there's things called channel points where if they redeem those, I do something where like, I have one that's hydrate and I'll drink water, or I have one.
Fuck?
Yeah. Just so like
someone wants to watch you drink water.
Well, if I'm playing a lot of games and I'm talking a lot, people will do that and be like, hey, take a drink of water. Like it's just like an interactive thing. Yeah.
They'll pay you to take a drink of water.
They won't pay. That channel points, you get those just by watching. Like the longer you watch, you kind of build those up. They're just like I don't know, credits, I guess.
Can you show your penis on this thing?
No. No.
Yeah, we got to get down to the nitty gritty.
Because kids watch too. Like, no penis. No, there's certain words you can't even say on Twitch.
Like you can't say balls and can you say cum and shit?
I can say all that, but there's like they had new rules where you can't say like, you can't call someone a virgin, or you can't call them like a simp or something.
Really? You can say fuck, but you can't say virgin.
Yeah, it's weird. Like because my channel is set so it says.
What do
mature.
you do to a virgin? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't address it. But that's the thing is like you build this community, and it's like now mine has mature content because I want to swear and I play violent games and stuff. So there's a warning when you go on my channel. It says, hey, this is mature content. If you want to.
Oh, okay.
You kind of do that.
Gotcha.
So it kind of feels some of that, but it's also like anybody could be like, I'm mature, and they'll watch it. But But yeah, it's crazy because I had to learn so much computer stuff about like broadcasting. Like I have 2 computer monitors. I have a whole like new PC setup, and it's, I create these scenes and I have to switch scenes. I'm doing it all live by myself. And, I've gotten help from people with like designing stuff. So, before you just, it seems very much like, you're watching someone play a video game, but what you're really doing is you're like, I'm watching someone run like a network show by themselves. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of complicated stuff that goes on with it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you feel antisocial, or do you feel strangely social? Like what is the feeling I'm looking
when
for?
I'm doing it?
Yeah.
You feel very social because not like when I'm playing the game, like we play a game called Among Us, which is like Mafia. but it's like a fun little video game. It's so addicting.
I'm sold.
It's you're little astronauts, and some of them are imposters, and everybody else's crew. And the crew tries to finish tasks while the imposters kill people, and you have to find out how the imposters are and vote them off. It's a ridiculous game. I play it with like Tor and a bunch of other people. You play with like 10 people, so it feels like playing a board game with your friends. But then also at the same time, there's the chat going on with my viewers who are asking me questions, talking about what's happening in the game, all this stuff that I'm interacting with as well. So it's very social. The fact that it's a lot of times I'm having two conversations.
Wow.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Mike.
No, I was gonna say so how being able to stream and stuff. How do you think that kind of brought your stand up to the next level? Like being a comedian and stuff. Like, do you
so much more on my toes? Like, I don't really do bits. I'm still trying, because right now it's just games and things, and I try and play games that are not what you find with Twitch is you want to play a game that a lot of people will. This is something Tony taught me. Tony Noto really taught me so much of my knowledge about Twitch, and really helps me a lot with all this stuff. But when you play games, you want to play games that you like. Nobody wants to watch you play something you don't care about. But also so you want to find your niche in that, but also people want to watch you play a game that they know. So it's finding that, and Twitch has a ranking of okay, this is the game that the most people are watching right now. So you want to find a balance of this is a game I like to play, but this is also a game people are interested in seeing. And so kind of finding that.
How many people are watching the most famous person?
A lot.
How many?
It's pretty insane. There's a streamer I follow. It depends, and this is every day. There's a streamer I follow. His name is Nick Merckx. He's a Call of Duty streamer. Every day he has between 40 to 60,000 people watching him.
Fuck out of here.
How much money do you think he's making?
Well, he has a couple houses, so
enough.
but I would say I think the record for the most people watching at one time is about 200,000.
Holy shit.
So do you think when you're in something 40, 50, 60,000 people watching you, how many hours in a day do you think he has to spend, not just streaming it, but dealing with it all?
Well, so here's the crazy. So this is
how does he get to enjoy his houses?
He does, because right now, as someone who at this point, I haven't made any money yet. I've gotten donations and stuff, but you have to reach a certain point before Twitch pays you out. I have to run all this stuff, run everything. A lot of people will make YouTube videos or content videos and post those. Once you get to that level where you're making, I don't know, thousands of millions of dollars on this, you have a team of people that do that. So he has people, and that's different because, when you've got 60,000 people watching you, your chat interaction isn't very much, because imagine 60,000 people in a group chat, everybody typing, it goes so fast. That's why people will pay to get their message highlighted, or they'll donate so that way their message gets seen. And there's all these different, it has a lot of pay tiers and things like that. And when you get to that level, it's more they interact a little bit, but it's more of what they're doing. It's wild. I'm still very much still dipping my toes into it, but
wow.
Yeah, that 60,000 people watching a day.
Well, you're going to be at that point pretty soon. Cause just God, we've talked on this for, oh man, this is fucking great. But a
lot of girls are listening to this podcast right now.
Oh man, sure. I was just wondering. We can't say virgin, but I think we got a lot of virgins listening right now.
Dripping right now.
We could say
riveting.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
coding
I don't know.
for Twitch. You know what I mean? Code it up,
man.
baby.
Jesus
Load it
Christ.
up and code it up.
Nope.
Wait,
Nope.
Adam, you can't say load it up. You can't say load.
Can't say load. Can't say code.
So
You can say fuck dick a pussy.
You can say balls.
I will say this
virgin.
though, Adam, going off your question of are they able to enjoy it and stuff? There's also, I'm not the only one who runs my channel also. So
Oh, wow.
so there's people that volunteer that I haven't met them in person. Some of them I don't even know their real names, who are moderators. And what they do is they're in my chat while I'm streaming, moderating people's language. If someone jumps in that they haven't seen before, they send a shout out message, and they're doing all of this because they want to. And it's the most incredible thing, the community of them being hey, this person's here. we're gonna add them to the server so they get all the announcements for when I go live.
I don't know if I've
bananas
ever
stuff.
heard of more volunteer work than that.
Well, it's funny.
like the amount of people that have done volunteer work in their life, all kinds of shit. Someone to wait in a Twitch chat room for free to moderate the language that's being spoken while Noah Copfer plays fucking fuck all game.
Yeah,
Make sure
I mean,
that
dude.
he
Whenever,
is keeping it clean and people.
But they're
are keeping,
awesome, dude. Like it's like interning on a show.
Oh,
You know
it
what I
is.
mean? Like,
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. It's like I haven't heard of a more volunteer
Well, whenever-
intern.
I love it, man. They're dope.
whenever we do the live show and I say like fuck, Paul always moderates and he adds cock balls to it.
Yeah.
He
If
just
you're gonna
screams.
do it, you need to finish it.
Yeah, come on.
You gotta go all the way.
Yeah. So what are your we'll end on this for you because I know you're streaming. You got a stream it coming up.
Stream, yeah.
But and thank you for doing this too, man. You're the best.
Dude, of course.
I really appreciate it. Thank you from all of us too. So what are some of you like you said you've been touring and stuff with comedy and you've been in New York and Philly and stuff. What are some of your like stand-up goals and dreams that you have coming up? Even like acting goals and stuff that you have that you're kind of manifesting or working towards right now.
Right now, like as far as acting goes, I'm trying to just find like representation, like agents. I got some commercial agent stuff happening, which is exciting. But like,
It's insane that you shouldn't. You're a human being that should have those things. Not like you're just far too talented and far too amazing as a human to not have those things.
I appreciate that,
Mhm.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
it's so like because I think the agent stuff took a back seat once I got a college stand-up agent. I was kind of like, oh, I have to lean headfirst into this, so that kind of took like the precedent. But now I'm like, okay, I have a reel. I'm getting all this stuff done. So that's kind of like for acting. I want to get representation, start auditioning more because I love acting so much. And stand-up, man, I just like. Oh man, I want to just tour for a living. Like I like a lot of people say specials and stuff like that, and a special would be cool. But honestly, like I miss being on a stage so much. Like I would trade getting a Netflix special if I just toured for the rest of my life. Like there's nothing that beats that feeling for me. And like being able to tour, like I have limited experience with touring. Like I did colleges and like a couple colleges and things like that, but. For all the craziness that happens during those, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So like stand-up goals, man, I'm trying to be on a stage again. I forgot how much of it is so much of like a personality. Like it's so much a part of me. So
Well, you could tell you're a natural at it, man. I mean,
Thank
since
you, dude.
I know we just said on the show, like, you said you started with Adam and Sean. Like, I remember, just doing when they shot their special and stuff too. And like us being there and you opening with us too. It's like, you're a natural at it because you're so fucking good at it, dude. You just have that energy and you have that just, you have that momentum and passion for it too, man. And it shows in your acting, it shows in everything that you do. So
I appreciate that, dude. I get nervous sometimes because I always like, it's taken time because like a lot of times I would kind of psych myself out because like, I don't know, like it means a lot hearing that for you, but like for me, I was always self-conscious. I was like, I'm not funny enough. Like I would try so hard. I'm like, I have to be funny.
yeah.
I had a funny moment with, because during this, there hasn't really been like any live shows, but there's been some like outdoor like mics. And, I did like one of those and just being able to do that and being like, oh, none of this, like, I'm just happy to see people again. It was like a cool, like, thing. I don't know where I was going with that, but I appreciate that.
No, I know what you mean. I think a lot of
thanks
this,
for crashing the end of the show, man. Way to go.
What
is wrong with you?
We're just
Come
gonna
on,
go
shit,
out
bro.
with a whimper.
Jesus Christ!
Yes, thanks
we
for
we like
listening to our podcast.
we went to bat for you, you piece of shit.
Thanks, man.
no, I know, dude, I know, but I know what you mean. And I think I know what you mean. And I think it shows that you're one of the guys that are going to be in the long run, as
I agree.
talked about, you kind of going
Shut
all
up,
in with
Adam.
it. You going all in with your Twitch and kind of building your own community and your own fan base. And also like, just to go into that open mic, like you being one of the guys that are still doing it. And then also just like, you already you're yourself on stage. So going to the open mic, even though like you're just there to be with people, it shows because you're there with, you're part of it, dude. You know what I mean? And I think that's the most important thing is like, one of our best friends, Brian McDaniel, taught me this is like, the one thing is like, everyone's always like, oh, I got to grind. I got to do this and this. It's like, no, the most important thing is to get respect from your peers, and build together, and that's where you kind of build those networks and just, I think you're one of those guys that I can see you touring. I can see you getting a Netflix special. I can see all that from you, man. And I'm excited to see the next journey of Noah Copfer, ladies and gentlemen.
That, dude. Thank you.
That's
so
what
much.
I'm excited for. And we're all happy to know you and be part of Loft Ensemble. And guys, that was Noah Copfer as our special guest.
Thank you, guys. I love you all.
I love you, man.
See how Mike you see how Mike finished it correctly? No,
I'll finish correctly right on you, dude. Like, I'm not even.
Hello.
And boom! There it is. Is that better? Is that better?
There it is. There's some bazing.
Oh wait. Oh, okay. Before we close, sorry. Can I end on a story real quick?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Go ahead.
There we go.
So this relates to Adam really fucking up good moments. So there was this thing that we did for a while. So like for a lot of people that don't know, like when I went to acting school, Adam was he is a teacher there. And I didn't have him as a student, but he directed me a couple times. And then, after I graduated, now we're like homies. He's probably one of my best, if not my best friend, like ever. He's the shit. But he is very mean to me. And here's the thing. It started because he started doing this thing to be now what I love, like it's like, especially with like all you guys, like I consider this with all you guys, is like when you're mean to someone you love, it's not like being mean. It's just like, that person you care about it so much, you can do that and just like, bust their balls. Like it's
just breaking balls. Yeah.
Breaking balls. So,
it's like Mike's ideal woman.
Yeah, I know. We're all each other's ideal woman.
We're all Marissa Tomei's. Let's not forget.
But
all of your biological clock is ticking here. Ticking here.
But yeah, like and that's very much so with how Adam treats me. But my favorite part is when people don't know that. And there was a thing that Adam used to do where he would, to be a condescending prick because he's working in the industry or whatever, he would take headshots of himself, sign them with
old
notes.
ones, bunch of old ones
from when he was like 20, which was like 1924, and he would hand them to me, and they would say notes like, "Hey, just get over the mountain, kid," and then he would sign it and give me a professional headshot.
I think I did this for like probably 20 something. Like I kept a binder with me of headshots for any time I ran into Noah. For the next moment I saw Noah, the first thing I did was give him a headshot. Yeah,
and he would give them to me at inopportune times. And I think the best time was we were in rehearsal for the Scottish play, and I had to do a scene where I was Malcolm, and I find my father murdered. And I had to do this. We were doing
that's dramatic. That's a very
we were doing viewpoints, which you get very emotional. It's very honest. It's very raw emotion. You have to be very honest and truthful with it. So we're doing this we're doing this whole thing where I have to be very honest, and it's hard. Like he's like, picture this happening to your father. And so I would do
a ceremony. We did like a very ceremonial thing. He cried a lot.
And the thing with Adam too is if he doesn't believe you, you do it again. So I did it like 3 times until it finally and it was like one of the most raw, like emotional moments I had at the time. And the whole cast is watching this because we're all there for rehearsal. And I'm really
25 people or some shit like that.
Right. And some of that, like a lot of them are, it's for Loft. Most of them I know well. Most of them are friends. Some I don't, but I think the majority of them don't really know how Adam treats me a lot of the time. And so I'm doing this and then I'm on the ground, like sobbing. I'm in the middle of the scene and he walks over and he hands me a signed headshot. And I'm there like,
I did.
What the fuck right now, man? And everybody is like, what did he just do? And so I love you, man.
I'll never forget that.
I'll never forget that either.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did that. In the grand scheme of our lives, had I not done that, we would have just been like, whatever. But like, because I did do that, it's forever.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it was a very defining moment. I'll never forget it. I learned a lot about myself, and
And
that's
comedy at that moment.
it's
The
so
timing
funny.
was really good. The timing.
That is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's
That
good.
is great. Well, listen, I know we're on Zoom, but Adam just emailed you a PDF of his headshot. So just to end,
I'm deleting my whole email. I'm deleting my whole email right now.
I'm changing completely.
but Noah, thank you so much, man. That was Noah Copfer, ladies and gentlemen. Check him out. You want to plug your social medias and your Twitch and stuff? Whatever you want to plug, man. This is your floor.
Sure. Yeah. I deleted Twitter because it's the worst thing that's ever existed. But I'm on Instagram at Noah Copfer Comedy. And my Twitch is Noah 2 Stressed. That's the number 2. What's up, chaboy? Noah 2 Stressed. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Usually, and then sometimes some other days. But yeah, that's me.
Nice.
I love
Awesome.
you all so much. This was a whole lot of fun. I genuinely love you guys.
I love you too, man. Thank
was
you
a
so
lot of fun.
much. And thanks for doing the live show again too, man. And we'd love to have you back anytime, man. Anytime you want to
Hell
pop in
yeah.
and do something, you're the best in the biz. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Noah Copfer, ladies and gentlemen. And give it up for the best band in all the land. It's the show with Adam and Sean, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that was super
Yeah.
fun. Can't wait to see you guys
Yeah,
next
fresh
time.
out the D. Fresh out the D.
Fresh out the D. My partner in crime, Mr. Paul Brodo, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you
Hey,
for
man,
hanging out.
He just sent me a headshot. He just texted me a headshot. It says, "Keep your chin up, Noah." Prick.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh,
Oh.
man. My name is Mike Perkins. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody giving us 5-star reviews and reviewing it, giving us nice reviews and sharing with all your friends. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever you're listening to. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Adios.
Another late night comedy show.